Dear viewers and students, in this video we are going to see the concept of irrational numbers. In this, we are going to solve some problems relating to irrational numbers. The method that we follow in solving these problems is proof by negation. Let us see how we are going to prove it. Here we are going to take an example, example 7. Show that root 2 is irrational. So root 2 is irrational. This you have to show or we have to prove. Now how do you prove this? The method of proof is called proof by negation. That means as we have to prove this as irrational, you assume that this is rational. So our first step starts like this. Let us assume root 2 is rational. So whenever you take this as a rational number, then there must exist two positive integers a and b which are co-prime. Then we get root 2 is equal to a by b. From this we get b into root 2 is equal to a. Now squaring on both sides, what happens? B into root 2 whole square is equal to a square. Now this implies b square into root 2 whole square means it is 2. So that is equal to a square. Now you mark it as 1. Now if you carefully observe this, a square is multiple of 2. That means 2 divides a square. It follows that 2 divides a. So that is the statement that we have written here. So we can write this as this value a as 2 into c for some integer c. Okay. Now in place of a you substitute 2c in step 1. Then what happens? 2 into b square is equal to, in place of a you write 2c. So that is 2c whole square. So that implies 2 into b square is equal to 4c square. Now 2 divides this 4 2 times. So from this we get b square is equal to 2c square. Again from in this you can see b square is multiple of 2. That means b square is divided by 2. It follows that b is also divisible by 2. Right? So that is the statement that we have written here. 2 divides b square. It follows that 2 divides b. Now from step 2 and 3, what do you observe? A is divided by 2 and b is divided by 2. Means both a and b are divisible by 2, which implies 2 is the common factor of this both a and b. Isn't it? That means this is the contradiction. For what it is contradiction? Because we have taken a, b as co-primes in the initial step here. Two positive integers a and b which are co-prime. Co-prime means they do not have any common factor. But here we are getting the statement as a and b having common factor 2, which is a contradiction. So why did we get this contradiction statement? Because our assumption, we take it as root 2 is rational. By taking that, we are getting the false statement. So that statement or assumption is false. So if a root is rational is false, then what should root 2 should be? It should be a irrational number. So the statement is, so we conclude that root 2 is irrational. Now let us see another example. Show that root 3 is irrational. Now in the same pattern we go on. Now let us assume that root 3 is rational. So whenever this is rational, there should exist two positive integers a and b which are co-prime, and denominator should not be equal to 0. That means root 3 is equal to a by b. Now if we transpose this b to left side, what happens? Root 3 into b is equal to a. Now squaring on both sides, that is root 3 into b whole square is equal to a square. So this turns to root 3 square means 3, b square is equal to a square. So this is the first statement we have represented. Now in this, 3 divides a square, because a square is multiple of 3. So you can write it as a square is divisible by 3. Okay. So whenever a square is divided by 3, then a also is divided by 3. So 3 divides a square, it follows that 3 divides a. It's represented as statement 2. So whenever a is divided by 3, that means a can be written as 3 into c, where c is some integer. Now you substitute in 1 the value of a as 3c. Then what happens? 3 into b square is equal to, in place of a write 3c, there is 3c whole square. This implies 3 into b square is equal to, now 3 square means 9, c square. Now 3 divides 9 3 times. So this implies b square is equal to 3c square. Now from this statement, again we see same as above. B square is multiple of 3, isn't it? So we can write this as 3 divides b square. It follows that 3 divides b. We represent this as statement 3. Now you check the second statement and third statement. What do you observe here? 3 divides a, 3 divides b. That means 3 is common factor of a and b. But this is a contradiction to the fact of a and b, because in the first step you have taken a and b as co-primes, isn't it? So this contradicts the fact that a and b are co-primes. So this contradiction statement, how did you get? Because our assumption is root 3 is rational, that we have taken and getting this contradiction. So this assumption is false. So when root 3 is rational is false, then what should it be? It should be irrational. So we conclude that root 3 is irrational. Okay. Now, keeping in idea these two problems which are solved, let us go into exercise 1.4, and in this let us solve the problems from simple to difficult. So here I am going to take fourth bit. First problem, fourth bit. Show that root 5 is irrational. So in the same pattern we should follow here also. First step, let us assume root 5 is rational. So whenever it is rational, okay, how do you write? You will write root 5 as a by b, where a, b are co-primes. Okay, so then there exists two positive integers A and B which are co-prime, therefore root 5 is equal to A by B. Now take B to left side, then what happens? B into root 5 is equal to A. Now squaring on both sides, B into root 5 whole square is equal to A square, which implies B square into root 5 whole square means it is 5 is equal to A square. Now you mark it as 1. Now you just observe this statement. A square is multiple of 5. So whenever it is multiple of 5, from this you can conclude that 5 divides A square. When 5 divides A square, then 5 divides A also. So that is what we have written here. And this mark it as 2. So when 5 divides A, that A can be written as 5 into C, where C is some integer. Now you substitute this A is equal to 5C in step 1. Then what happens? B square into 5 or 5 into B square is equal to, in place of A write 5C. So 5C whole square, which implies 5B square is equal to 5 square means 25 C square. Now 5 divides 25 5 times, isn't it? So this implies B square is equal to 5 C square. Now here again repeats the same statement as statement number 2. Here B square is multiple of 5. That means 5 divides B square. From this it follows that 5 divides B. So this is a statement. Now you mark it as 3. Now if you just observe 2 and 3 statements, what do you find? This A divides 5 and B also divides, means 5 divides B, isn't it? So both A and B are divided by 5. That means A and B have 5 as common factor. This is the contradiction to the fact that A and B are co-primes. So this contradiction results to our assumption, that is root 5 is rational, is false. Because due to this assumption we are getting here the contradiction statement. So this is false. So when rational, root 5 is rational is false means this root 5 should be irrational. Okay. Now let us go to one example. Show that 3 root 2 is irrational. So let us go in the method as usual. Let us assume that 3 into root 2 is rational. Then there exists two positive integers A and B which are co-prime. Then we get 3 into root 2 is equal to A by B. Now if we transform this 3 to right side, keeping root 2 on left side, then what happens? Root 2 is equal to A by 3B. Now A is the integer, 3 is integer and B also integer. So A by 3B, this will be a rational number. So A by 3B is rational number means root 2 is equal to rational number. But just now we have proved that root 2 is irrational, isn't it? Here we are getting root 2 as rational, but this is a contradiction to the fact that root 2 is irrational. Therefore our assumption is wrong. What is our assumption? 3 root 2 is rational is wrong, it's false. That means 3 root 2 is irrational. Now let us go to Now let us see first problem, first bit. Show that 1 by root 2 is irrational. Now write the first statement as usual. Let us assume that 1 by root 2 is rational. Then there exists two positive integers a and b which are co-prime. Then we get 1 by root 2 is equal to a by b. Now from this, root 2 is equal to b by a. Squaring on both sides. You know what happens? Root 2 whole square is equal to b by a whole square. That means 2 is equal to b square by a square. Now if you transform this a square to left side, what happens? 2 into a square is equal to b square. Now you mark it as 1. Now carefully observe this. B square is multiple of 2. That means 2 divides b square. From this it follows that 2 divides b. So that statement is written as 2. Marked as 2. So we can write this b as 2 into c for some integer c. Okay. Now you substitute the value of b in statement 1. Then what happens? 2 into a square is equal to 2c whole square. So that implies 2 into a square is equal to 2 into c square means it is 4. 4 into c square. So this implies a square is equal to 2 into c square. Now if you observe here now, a square is multiple of 2. That means 2 divides a square. It follows that 2 divides a. So that is statement number 3. Now if you carefully observe these two statements, 2 and 3, what do you conclude? This a and b have common factor as a 2 because these two numbers are divisible by 2 means they have common factor as 2. This is the contradiction because a and b are co-prime. So it follows that our assumption is false. What is our assumption? First statement, 1 by root 2 is rational. That is the assumption. It is false. So if it is false means what should happen? 1 by root 2 should be irrational. Okay. Now this problem can be solved or can be proved in the second method. Or let us see. Let us assume that 1 by root 2 is rational. Then there exists two positive integers a and b which are co-prime. Then we get 1 by root 2 is equal to a by b. So this is written as root 2 is equal to b by a. The same as the first method, we are getting the step here. So after that, these steps are reduced. See here, b by a, b is an integer and a is an integer. So b by a will be a rational number. So when b by a is a rational number, then root 2 is rational. But we have proved that root 2 is irrational. So there is a fact. So root 2 is rational. This is a contradiction to the fact that root 2 is irrational. So our assumption is wrong. So that means 1 by root 2 is rational is false. So we can conclude that 1 by root 2 is irrational. So what is the difference between the first method and second method? In first method here we are not taking into consideration that root 2 is irrational. So we are proving 1 by root 2 as irrational without taking into consideration root 2 as irrational. Whereas in second method we are taking into consideration what we have proved earlier, that root 2 is irrational. That's why here some steps are reduced. Okay, so I think you have understood or observed these two methods. In any one method you can solve it. Okay. Now let us take the second bit. Show that root 3 plus root 5 is irrational. Now, as usual, write the first statement. Let us assume that root 3 plus root 5 is rational. Then there exist two positive integers a and b which are co-prime. Then we get root 3 plus root 5 is equal to a by b. Now among these two, you take one value towards right side. So I am taking root 3 on towards right side. Then what happens? Root 5 is equal to a by b minus root 3. Now squaring on both sides, what happens? Root 5 whole square is equal to a by b minus root 3 whole square. Now this is the form of x minus y whole square. The expansion of this will be x square minus 2xy plus y square. So in that pattern I am expanding here. Root 5 whole square means 5 is equal to a square by b square minus 2 into a by b into root 3 plus root 3 whole square. Root 3 whole square means root 3 into root 3. Root goes away, so we are getting 3. Now from this, you transform the middle value, negative value which is containing root 3 towards left side, and left value 5 is transformed to right side. Then what happens? This turns to positive. So 2 into a by b into root 3 is equal to a square by b square plus 3 minus 5. So this is plus 5. When you bring to right side, what happens? It will be minus 5. After simplification, we get 2 into a by b into root 3 is equal to a square by b square minus 2, because plus 3 minus 5 it is minus 2. Now this implies 2 into a by b into root 3 is equal to a square minus 2b square by b square. After taking LCM, you get like this. Now you take 2a by b towards right side. Then how do you get? Root 3 is equal to a square minus 2b square by b square into b by 2a. Now here one b cancels. Numerator b and denominator b square, in this one b cancels. Then the resultant step will be root 3 is equal to a square minus 2b square by 2ab. Okay. Now in this, a is integer, b is also integer, and 2 is integer. So the fraction formed by integers will be a rational number. So when this is rational number, that means root 3 is rational number. So root 3 is rational number means, but previously we have proved that root 3 is irrational number. So the statement what we get here is the contradiction to the fact that root 3 is irrational, isn't it? So it is contradicting the fact that root 3 is irrational. So our assumption is false. What is the assumption? Root 3 plus root 5 is rational is false. So we conclude that root 3 plus root 5 is irrational. Now this can be proved in second method by taking the rational number as integer form. That means instead of taking a fractional form a by b, you just take as a, because some persons prove these problems in this method. So this method helps to reduce the complicated steps which you observe here. Let us see how it is simple. Let us assume that root 3 plus root 5 is rational. Then we get root 3 plus root 5 is equal to a. So instead of writing here a by b, we are writing as a, because every integer is a rational number, every whole number is a rational number, every natural number is a rational number. So here instead of writing as fraction, we are taking as fraction as an integer form. That means root 3 plus root 5 is equal to a. Now you transform one value towards right side. That means root 5 is equal to a minus root 3. Now squaring on both sides, root 5 whole square is equal to a minus root 3 whole square. Now from this, 5 is equal to, this is x minus y whole square, it is a square minus 2a into root 3 plus root 3 whole square. From this 2a root 3, you transform this to left side, and from the left side value 5 is transformed to right side. Then what happens? 2a into root 3 is equal to a square plus 3 minus 5. Now after simplification we get 2a into root 3 is equal to a square minus 2. Now you take this 2a to right side, it becomes denominator. So after simplification we get this form. Root 3 is equal to a square minus 2 by 2a. Now if you just observe, here, a square minus 2 by 2a, a is integer, 2 is integer, so the resultant term a square minus 2 by 2a is a rational number. That means root 3 is rational number, which is false, because previously we have proved that root 3 is irrational. So the statement what we get here contradicts the fact that root 3 is irrational. That means our assumption is wrong. So what is the assumption? Root 3 plus root 5 is rational is false. That means root 3 plus root 5 is irrational. So like this, some complicated steps can be reduced by taking as integer form. But in textbook, the method that is followed is rational number means a by b, means root 3 plus root 5 is equal to a by b, because the basic statement of rational number is the number is in the form of p by q, where q not equal to 0 and pq are integers mutually prime. So such form are called rational numbers. So the basic definition is that. So in textbook, this method, the first method is followed, but second method is followed by some persons. So in order to not to get confused, I am mentioning the second method also here. For other problems also, we will work out in first method as well as second method in order to get accustomed to both methods. Among these two methods, you select one method and follow it perfectly. Now third bit, show that 6 plus root 2 is rational. Now for this, let us assume that 6 plus root 2 is rational. Then there must exist two positive integers a and b which are co-prime. Then we get 6 plus root 2 is equal to a by b. Now we transform the 6 to right side. Root 2 is equal to a by b minus 6. So after simplification here, we get root 2 is equal to a minus 6b by b. Now here a is integer, 6 is integer, and b is also integer. So the fractional form formed by integers will be a rational number. So if this is a rational number, that means root 2 is a rational number. But is root 2 rational? No, it is irrational. So the statement what you are getting contradicts the fact that root 2 is rational. So our assumption is false. What is our assumption? 6 plus root 2 is rational is false. That means 6 plus root 2 is irrational. Now this one, in second method, see here, let us assume that 6 plus root 2 is rational. Then we get 6 plus root 2 is equal to a. So instead of here a by b, I am writing as a. Then what happens? Root 2 is equal to a minus 6. Now here simple term, a is integer, 6 is integer, so a minus 6 will also be an integer, which implies that every integer is a rational number, so this is an rational number. So if this is rational number means root 2 is a rational number. So that means that is contradicting the fact that root 2 is irrational, because the fact is root 2 is irrational, but here getting root 2 as rational, isn't it? So our assumption is wrong. What is our assumption? 6 plus root 2 is rational is false. That means 6 plus root 2 is irrational. Now let us see fifth bit. Show that 3 plus 2 root 5 is irrational. So let us assume that 3 plus 2 root 5 is rational. Then there must exist two positive integers a and b which are co-prime. That means 3 plus 2 root 5 is equal to a by b. Now we transform this 3 to right side. Then what happens? 2 root 5 is equal to a by b minus 3. That implies 2 root 5 is equal to a minus 3b by b. After simplification, we get like this. Now we transform this 2 to right side. Then what happens? As it is multiplying, when you transform to right side, it comes to denominator, isn't it? That means root 5 is equal to a minus 3b by 2b. Now here a is an integer, b is an integer, 3 is an integer and 2 is an integer. That means so the resultant term formed by integers will be a fraction, that is the rational number. So a minus 3b by 2b is a rational number. If this is a rational number, that means root 5 is rational number. But it is not the fact. What is the fact? Root 5 is rational, isn't it? So root 5 is rational, which contradicts the fact that root 5 is irrational. So our assumption is wrong. What is the assumption now? 3 plus 2 root 5 rational is false. So if this is false, then what should happen? 3 plus 2 root 5 should be irrational. Now let us see this in second method. Let us assume that 3 plus 2 root 5 is rational. Then we get 3 plus 2 root 5 is equal to a. So that means root 5 is equal to a minus 3 by 2. So if we first transform this 3 to right side, then this will be a minus 3. Next to transform this 2, then it will comes to denominator. That means a minus 3 by 2. Now a is integer, 3 is integer, 2 is integer. So if you just see, a minus 3 by 2 will be a rational number. If this is the rational number, that means root 5 is rational, which is a contradiction, isn't it? So those statements are written here. A minus 3 by 2 is a rational number, as a, 3, 2 are rational. So root 5 is rational, which contradicts the fact that root 5 is irrational. So here you might have get a doubt. So here I am written as a, 3, 2 are rational. As these are integers, every integer you recognize is called as rational number. Every integer rational number, every whole number is a rational number, every natural number is a rational number. So in that aspect, here I am calling these as rational numbers, even though they are integers or natural numbers. Okay. Now our assumption is wrong. That means 3 plus 2 root 5 is rational is false. So if this is false, what should happen? 3 plus 2 root 5 should be irrational. Now let us see the second problem. Prove that root p plus root q is irrational where p, q are primes. So this is a theoretical problem. Now how to prove this? So as usual, the method followed. Let us assume that root p plus root q is rational. Then there exist two positive integers a and b which are co-prime. That means root p plus root q is equal to a by b, where root q is equal to a by b minus root p. So squaring on both sides, root q whole square is equal to a by b minus root p whole square. Now this is the form of x minus y whole square. That is q is equal to a by b whole square minus 2 into a by b into root p plus root p whole square. Now from this you get 2 into a by b into root p is equal to a square by b square plus p minus q. So after simplification or changing, you get this form. Now if you simplify this, you get a square plus pb square minus cube b square by b square. After that you transform this 2a by b to right side, then what happens? B by 2a we get here. That means finally we are getting root p is equal to a square plus pb square minus cube b square by b square into b by 2a. Now here one b cancels. So after simplification we get root p is equal to a square plus pb square minus cube b square folded by 2ab. Now here a is a prime number, p is a prime number, b is a prime number, 2 is a prime number. So the format that is formed due to these prime numbers will be a rational number. So if this is a rational number, that means root p is a rational number. So root p rational number means, is it true? It's not true, because p is a prime number. That the statement what is given. If p is the prime number, then root of that prime number will always be irrational. Okay. Now suppose if we take 2, root 2 is a prime number, root 2 is a irrational number. 5 is a prime number, root 5 is an irrational number. 7 is a prime number, root 7 is a irrational number. So here p is a prime number means root p will be irrational number. But here we are getting root p as rational, which contradicts the fact. Okay. So that means our assumption is wrong. What is our assumption? Yes. So this contradicts the fact that root of prime number is a irrational number. Okay. That means here our assumption root p plus root q is rational is false. So we conclude that root p plus root q is irrational. Now let us see the second method. Now in second method, let us assume that root p plus root q is rational. Then root p plus root q is equal to a. Right. So now transform one value to right side, then what happens? Root q is equal to a minus root p. Now squaring on both sides, root q whole square is equal to a minus root p whole square. So that implies q is equal to a square minus 2a into root p plus p. So that implies 2a into root p is equal to a square plus p minus q. From this, if we transform this 2a to right side, it will be root p is equal to a square plus p minus q by 2a. Now here a square plus p minus q by 2a is a rational number, because a is a prime number, p is a prime number, q is a prime number, 2 is a prime number. So the number what you get using these prime numbers will be a rational number. That means root p is a rational number, which is a contradiction to the fact. What is the fact? Root p is irrational because p is a prime number, so square root of a prime number will be irrational, isn't it? So our assumption is wrong. What is the assumption? Root p plus root q is rational is false. That means root p plus root q is irrational. So in this way we solve all the problems relating to irrational numbers by the method of proving by negation. So I hope you understood the method of solving the problems. So do like or do share to your friends and classmates and to other viewers to benefit to some extent. Thank you, one and all.